That Matt Luke effect sure is something, ain't it? Clemson just landed four-star offensive tackle Adam Guthrie out of the state of Ohio, Miami Trace High School, 6'7", 295 pounds. What a win. What a win for Clemson. Going into the state of Ohio and beating out the likes of Ohio State and Penn State for his services, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. You know, Ohio State is coming off of a national championship win. I mean, it's a big deal. Yeah, they lost their position coach, and that certainly played a factor. But you know, Adam Guthrie has been, kind of a Clemson lean for quite some time now. I'm sure if you guys are familiar with recruiting, this shouldn't come as a big surprise. You know, the industry predictions, the crystal balls, all indicated that Adam Guthrie was leaning towards Clemson. But like I said, you know, that's a testament to what Matt Luke has done on the recruiting trail and his impact on this program in still such a short time. I mean, you have to think. I mean, he was hired last January, like, and you're already seeing the effects on Clemson's recruiting efforts. And you know, with the history that Clemson has at offensive line, which is not very much, you know, it was really, really important that you went and got a guy that was experienced and had the pedigree and resume that would be able to attract big time offensive line prospects. And you're seeing that, you know, with the Elite Retreat weekend happening this weekend. I'm recording this Friday. It's a very, very big deal because recruiting is very much a momentum based game, if you want to call it that. And with Clemson looking to take 4 to 5 guys, and the likes of Carter Scruggs and Leo Delaney and Ekene Ogboko, among others on campus, you know, Clemson is really, really going to emphasize and have a very, very strong, you know, pull with these offensive linemen. And, and especially when you consider that you're returning 4 or 5 starters on the offensive line in 2025, and you're going to have a lot of numbers and a lot of roster spots opening up after this season. You know, Clemson has a really, really attractive place right now. You have the position coach with the pedigree, and you have the spots. And so I'm really, really excited to see kind of how this weekend plays out. But back to Adam Guthrie, what is Clemson getting as far as the prospect, as far as the player? You're getting a really, really athletic and really, really relentless offensive tackle. You're going to see it. I'm going to play his huddle. The guy can flat out move. And he plays to the whistle. That's what I love the most about him, is that he plays to the whistle and really beyond the whistle, kind of what you want to see. You know, Clemson has had a couple of offensive linemen out of Ohio that had similar a similar mindset. You know, you think of the Blake Millers of the world and the Jackson Carmens of the world. Like, Ohio is a very, very strong breeding ground for offensive linemen, and Clemson has tapped into that in the past, and they do it once again. And I think they're getting a really, really good prospect. You'll see in his tape, it'll play for me. There we go. You'll see in his tape, like I said, the guy plays to the whistle, but he also moves extremely well for his size. 6'7", 295 pounds. He carries his weight extremely well. He's a two-sport athlete, plays basketball as well, and he plays both sides of the ball in football. I mean, offensive lineman and defensive lineman, as you'll see in this highlight tape. So, I mean, you know, that is attractive enough if you're a coach. You're seeing the emphasis on, you know, dual 3-sport athletes in college football, because there is a lot of skills that are translatable to the football field. And when you have guys that are playing sports year round, you know, those guys tend to work out more often than not. So, you know, like I said, Adam Guthrie is a kid that I think he also could play guard if you needed him to. But I do think his future is at offensive tackle with that 6'7" frame and the light feet that you want to see. He moves extremely well. I mean, because sometimes when you have guys that are 6'7", 6'8", and that big, like, they don't really know how to carry their weight that well. You know, you're still kind of growing into your body. But when you watch Adam Guthrie, you don't really see that. There's not a whole lot of wasted steps. There's not a whole lot of, you know, kind of getting knocked off balance. He's very, very he has a very, very strong anchor. It's very strong, low center of gravity, even for a guy as tall as he is. And that's what I really, really like about him. So I'm excited to see what Clemson can get out of him and what Matt Luke can get out of him when he gets on campus. Because he really is a really intriguing prospect, and you see why the Ohio State, who's produced offensive linemen at a high rate as of late, and Penn State as well, were going after him. The kid can flat out play, and these are the types of players that Clemson over the years has been missing. When you're going against the Texases and the Ohio States and the Georgias of the world that are recruiting at the highest level at offensive line or at defensive line, you need offensive linemen that can match the athleticism and the twitchiness that you're seeing some of these teams have. And I think that's where Clemson has kind of lacked the most over the years, especially lately when they've played those types of teams. So, Clemson has emphasized getting bigger, getting stronger, getting faster on the offensive line. And that's what you're getting in a guy like Adam Guthrie. And, like I said, with this big time elite retreat weekend coming in, it's a very, very big momentum boost for Clemson. It's a kind of a momentum-based game in general when we're talking about recruiting. When one guy commits, sometimes there's a domino effect, and we've seen that in recent classes for Clemson. You get one big-time commit, and then a few others follow in pretty short order. And so we'll kind of see what happens this weekend. But this is one of arguably the biggest weekends I've seen as far as this many blue chip, high profile prospects at Clemson in one time that I've ever seen. And so that really does make me excited to see kind of what the returns are out of the weekend, because, who knows? Adam Guthrie might not be the only one that chooses to pull the trigger this weekend. And this isn't even the official visit weekend that's happening on May 30th. So, if you can get some of these kids in the boat early, that's a very, very big deal. And so now we'll continue to monitor that. I'll be here to make videos if more commitments drop. So y'all make sure to stay tuned for that. And also join me and Tiger Paw Craven on the All In Show. We go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. If you're new to the channel or you only watch the video content, you've probably seen our clips, our short clips from the live stream. But if you want a Clemson live show to come hang out, talk Clemson football, we talk about everything from recruiting to spring practice, everything in between, everything that's going on in college football. So y'all be sure to check us out there as well. And like I said, if more commitments come, I will be right here. But until then, I'm Jordan Bowman, and go Tigers.